Hello and welcome everyone, this is Gary Jones, UFO investigator for the Pentyrch UFO Incident. I'm here with another video and I thought I'd try something a little bit different today. I'm going to introduce you to some online information which does indeed prove that what happened on the 26th of February 2016, what is now called the Pentyrch UFO Incident, or just now the Pentyrch Incident, was a real-life UFO event where the military and the RAF came armed and prepared for a live mission, ready to do battle if it was necessary, and not some pretend military exercise, which unfortunately some people still do believe. So, if you haven't seen mine and Kaz Clark's presentation in June of 2022, when we went to Newport, we presented a very well in-depth educational presentation, which much of it was looking at the military's own rules, guidelines, and laws, their own documentation taken from their own websites. Kaz Clark did a brilliant job of going through much of it, and we sent off some Freedom of Information requests in which that we requested paperwork, documentation, or something that would at least prove that the military planned an exercise for that area for that specific time. Okay? And would you believe it? Nothing. They have nothing, because you cannot prove a lie. You cannot prove a lie. All you can do is prove a truth, and the truth of the matter is this was not an exercise. But I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to look at it from a different angle, because I think once you understand how people responded and how they reacted online, it can prove to you in this way. It can be proven so many ways, but I'm going to show you this way. Look. Now, this is a tweet by someone called Danter. You can see the time and date right here, look, 7:32 a.m., 26th of February 2016. What went off on Lantriston Common, 4 a.m., 2 helicopters landed for ages, then took off again, then circled around for ages. And of course, we have a reply from It's Not Me. I heard them too. It was 2 explosions, some sort of military exercise, as there were Chinook, Pumas, Apaches flying. This person assumed at the time that this was a military exercise. Now, Wales Online did reply, and assuming this timestamp is correct, of course, the 26th of February 2016, you'll note the time, 11:39 a.m. So by now, the main event happened around some time of 2 a.m. The explosion around Smilog Woods happened around 4 a.m. I think the helicopters more or less landed and everything was pretty much done and dusted anyway by 7 or 8 a.m. So it took at least 2.5 hours after everything settled, going on this time here, for Wales Online to say, we are currently working on a story about this. We will post a link as soon as we have it. So the first thing we can look at here is that Wales Online, which is like Wales's mainstream news source, it is like our country's news source, our mainstream country media station, and they didn't know anything about it. We are currently working on a story about this. We will post a link as soon as we have it. Well, okay. Why didn't you have it before? Why didn't you know that this was going on? Why didn't anyone inform you? This should have been big news for them, or at least a story to print, something to take up space for the day, something to post about, something to write about. No, nothing. And we know later on, of course, they posted a story calling it Chameleon, Exercise Chameleon, but we've now proven that that story is false. And of course, all the comments and links underneath were deleted, and since then, of course, Wales Online have pretty much distanced themselves from the story. But Twitter being what it is, a very large and very useful place for people to communicate, I decided to try and see if anyone may have posted any links concerning military exercise Chameleon for South Wales. So what I did was I went up here, I went to the advanced search, and what I did was I put in the words military exercise, and my search parameters were going to be the 26th of February 2016. So if anyone's made a post about Exercise Chameleon in the UK, especially for Wales, I'm sure it would have shown up here. And as I scroll down, look, you can see other countries they had their exercises. This one is in Holstein. I'm not sure where that is, but you can see someone posted about it. We got one with the Chinese look. This one, I believe, is the Saudi Arabia people. Yeah, there's another link to it there, look. You can see that the US-Israel joint military exercise is underway with Israel and the US. Saudi Arabia, again, look, we're having one with 20 nations, so big exercise going on there. The US, South Korea, again, they were doing it. What I find interesting is, as you keep scrolling down, there's nothing about Wales or the United Kingdom or Exercise Chameleon. I mean, it keeps going on about this other one, the North Korean, South Korean, Saudi Arabian, and you can just scroll down, look, and we come to the end. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. I'll just go back to the top, look. So I thought, okay, maybe this skipped by Wales, so I just thought I'll do Wales military exercise. There's the search parameters. There's my time and stamp, look. 25th is over there, just to show you that it's there. There you go. And as you can see, look, we get the rubber chicken picture saying no results for Wales military exercise, and there are the dates. Look, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. There is absolutely nothing listed. And what I find amazing is that Exercise Chameleon is a biannular event. This happens twice every year, every 6 months. And I typed in Exercise Chameleon for 2016. And as we look here, someone posted pictures of a Chinook. This Chinook is carrying a carriage underneath it. So it's transporting a lot of heavy goods. You can see, look, 30th of August, 2016. And we've got some people writing about it, look, who were very happy with all this. And you can see more replies here, hopefully. Yeah. See, there are people who are very interested in Exercise Chameleon. And I know that in Wales, we have a lot of military enthusiasts. And I know that there are military aviation groups who keep an eye on this also. But amazingly, they didn't post anything for this particular day. I find that strange. And of course, Wales Online didn't know anything either. Now I'll just keep going through it. You can see, look, someone posted about one of these planes. Exercise Chameleon should have really had people running out the door to get their cameras and seeing if they could find any video. But the reason that these people didn't is because they didn't know nothing was coming here. And of course, we have another one on the beach. This is up in Scotland. Again, the 30th of August, 2016. Why is it that we have Exercise Chameleon listed here, or at least a tweet of it? And of course, see, look, people are very enthusiastic, and they do get a bit envious when other people have a chance to see these things. People do like to watch the military do their exercise, our armed forces training very well there. But I found this one. And this person's tweet was in response to this person here. I couldn't get into that particular account. As you can see, it's locked. It's only if you're a person who can sign into Twitter, which I don't have a Twitter account. You can see Exercise Chameleon apparently involving 7 aircraft flying over our patch and Somerset. Perhaps we'll go and wake up participants. As you can see, this person lives in Llanwit Fadre. This is actually in the area of Smilog Woods. And this person says, apparently, Exercise Chameleon, involving 7 aircraft. And you can see the time and timestamp there, 26th of February 2016. And this is what I find interesting here. This person continued to call the MOD, yet I have been branded selfish by some people. I'm sure it'll be a response to this fella. But what I'm interested in is he's still waiting for the MOD to call him back. Why would the MOD need to call him back and confirm this is Exercise Chameleon? I find that rather odd. Something else we're going to take a look at here. This is the Welsh Government's website, gov.wales. And I came across this just recently because this FOI was only recently put in. Anyway, you can see here information in relation to a UFO incident at Pentyrch in 2016, and it was published 30th of November 2022. And I will make all these links available so people can see it for themselves. But what I want you to pay attention to is that we do have a response. And you can see the date. There's the number. The information requested was just any information you asked for, any information held by the Welsh Government in relation to a UFO incident at Pentyrch in 2016. Now, their response was, following a search of our paper and electronic records, I have established that the information you require is not held by the Welsh Government. Now, it depends on what parameters they were looking for information. UFO incident at Pentyrch in 2016. They were probably maybe looking for information relating to just a UFO. Anything to do with a UFO, anything that could have been suggested as a UFO. But what I find interesting, or what may be lacking in their response, is that they said following a search of our paper and electronic records, I have established that the information required is not held by the Welsh Government. Why didn't they just turn around and say, or maybe they could have offered some explanation, that it may well be that any UFO sightings reported could have been a result of misidentification because there was an exercise happening in Wales at that time. Exercise Chameleon involved a number of aircraft which could have been mistaken for a UFO. It's a typical explanation given to most UFO sightings, that it's got to be some military plane or civilian plane or weather balloon or something. I just find that interesting. So knowing that people were looking for this information, I decided myself to just come on here and type in Exercise Chameleon. I got 788 results, and what's interesting is that I've got Exercise Cygnus, Exercise Alice, Cygnus again, exercise periods during COVID-19 lockdown. Then we've got Exercise Alice. Then we got Exercise Watermark. You can see that one's from 2011, so they've got records that go well back before anything to do with 2016. And as I keep going down, though, we get things with environmental permitting. We get armed forces. But after that, we don't really see anything with the words exercise or chameleon. And you can continue to scroll through this if you want. There's like 40 pages you can go through. Maybe there's something in here, but I've gone through a few of these pages myself, and there's nothing there. So I thought, I can't go through 40 pages of stuff to find it. So I thought, let's just go to the word chameleon. Let's just leave the word chameleon. Oh, look at that. The Welsh Government with the word chameleon, a keyword search with the word chameleon, and nothing is there. There is absolutely nothing with the word chameleon. Now, if the Welsh Government were informed of any exercise happening anywhere in their area, then I'm sure Exercise Chameleon would have been listed, look. Because when we go back to page 1, with the keywords being exercise and chameleon, you can see here that the top ones do have these words, but we don't have the word chameleon in them. And of course, when we go looking for it, what do we get? Nothing. Now, just to clarify even more why we know this was not an exercise, a number of Freedom of Information requests were sent to various offices concerning the idea of this not being a military exercise. Me and Kaz Clark sent in a number of these asking for information of any kind that showed you did indeed have paperwork, permission, and everything else for this exercise to take place. And one of the ways in which I went about this is the FOI reference number here. This is the date when it was sent off. This is when we got a reply. I asked them, can they provide any information relating to exercises conducted between the 22nd and the 26th of February, and please make sure it includes the areas of Pentyrch and Lantris. And I had to limit the radius of this within 5 miles. My original one was 40. They said that that would be too much to look into. It would exceed the amount of man hours and money that can go into replying to Freedom of Information requests. But it didn't matter. I limited it to 5. They happily replied. And this is what they say. They searched. there was one military exercise taking place in the area of Pentyrch and Llantrisant within 5 miles, and they're saying it was done on private land with the agreement of the landowner. Now, if any of you have seen our presentation from June of 2022, you'll know that they had no permission from the landowner, they had no permission from anyone, and they exceeded all the rules and regulations and everything else, including the boundaries of the NOTAM. They went outside of that, continued to fly across Wales, disturbing people as far as Swansea and even down as far as Carmarthenshire, West Wales. But what I'm showing you here is that they're saying they do have information of this exercise. Okay, this is the link they sent me. So I followed the link, and what I got was this. This is the reference number here. I can tell you who that name is. It is Richard D. Hall's original FOI. I know that because I saw it listed long before. And he asks a bunch of questions about all this. What's interesting is, I'll go to the answers. This one I like. Why did the MOD choose not to use a military-owned piece of land? Instead, they came all the way down to Llantrisant, Pentyrch and Smilog. They say, whilst MOD training areas are most often used for training, they do not always contain the features required for certain activities. Well, like intercepting UFOs. In these cases, alternative locations are sought and used with the agreement of the landowner. I can tell you right now, no agreement with any landowner was ever made, and no one, no local authority was ever informed. So how could they give permission? The point of this is this gives no information. This original FOI by Richard D. Hall gives no information as to any exercise taking place. It just says, that we use simulated ordnance and, Section 26 on any important questions. So basically, this tells you nothing. There is no paperwork. There is no documentation. There is no information passed to any of the local or emergency services. There's no listing of it anywhere in the Welsh Government, and Wales Online didn't have any idea about it either. Twitter accounts do not note any exercise for this particular place. And we've shown you a whole bunch of other paperwork and things which confirm it 100%. But let's just take a quick look. This is from our presentation in June of 2022. These are slides which show that although something was added to the MOD's website, there was no commencement date for this so-called exercise. Someone just slipped it in there, and I guess they thought no one would take any notice of it. Commencing, nothing. But there, look. This is what the NOTAM looked like for that day. As you can see, Llantrisant is in this area, so is Pentyrch. I want you to note the circles, because this is where it should have all been taking place, because as we go forward, one of the things I wanted to know, did anyone make any listing of a NOTAM? Here you can see what time was the application made. Could you provide a list of what aircraft and vehicles were listed? Because that's what they have to do. List the vehicles that were going to be used. What time did the official NOTAM get issued for this area? Could you provide a map of the NOTAM outlining the borders, boundaries for said exercise? As you can see, the National Air Traffic Services said they have been unable to find any information relating to the specific NOTAM. That one right there. So is this a real NOTAM or a false one? Again, they searched and they confirmed no information. The scope of request has been found. They suggested I go to the Civil Aviation Authority. I asked them as well all the same questions. What place, time, vehicles listed, and so on. Following a review of held information, it has been determined that the CAA holds no information within the scope of your original request. Just to show you something very quickly, these were a list of people who spoke out on this website here, The Wave. This is the original NOTAM. The Wave is a popular radio station, mostly in the area of Swansea, which is over here. The reason I've drawn these circles is just to show you that these are people who complained about noises on this website. I can't find them comments now. They've all been deleted. What a surprise. Seems any website that lists anything about that particular event that night has been scrubbed. Unless it's been backed up or archived, it's pretty much gone forever. But take a look. These are the circles pretty much from that NOTAM. It's not the scale, but it's near enough. And just take a look. They're right outside this area. They would not be allowed to do that in a real life exercise. So I'm just going to finish up on this particular video here. So I'm just going to finish up on this particular comment here. This is a recent comment made on one of our YouTube videos for the Pentyrch Incident. I've redacted the name. The comment has since been deleted by the person because I think they're a little bit nervous about what they've said. But we've since contacted them and they've made contact with us, and we are in the current process of learning what they know. And I have to say the results are very, very encouraging. But I want you to look at what they've written here. The name that was redacted anyway wasn't their real name, but I didn't want people having access to their name until, of course, they were probably happy for us to do so. So basically, if they've deleted the comment, I've redacted the name, but this is what they said. Because they say that the military grabbed them, threw them in their truck, and took them out of the area and told them not to go back. Now, this is an exercise. They would not be allowed to do that. They're not allowed to tell the public they can't go on public access land or even private land which has public access ways. And Smilog Woods is definitely that. And yet, you know, they were grabbed and thrown and told not to go back. This is what he said. I remember this myself when a friend was camping the opposite side of the forest across the lane. He's on about Smilog Woods. It's a fair distance between us and the crash area. Yes, he did see the crash site. We heard helicopter, then an almighty bang, and you could feel the ground vibrate beneath us. This is what alerted them. They heard the helicopter, and then they heard a bang. I'm assuming that that helicopter was the Apache. The bang was whatever it was fired upon, and the crash area is whatever crashed in the area. We assumed it was a crash as we camped a fair distance from the lane. Around half hour, we decided to walk to see, as we could still hear helicopters. As we approached the lane, we could see a number of vehicles with military personnel near an object, which we then assumed was a crashed plane. As we then walked directly on the lane, and we were spotted instantly, 3 men grabbed us and asked us what we were doing, and they took our phone, then put us in a 4x4 and drove us to the bus station in Talbot Green and returned our phone and advised not to go back. So basically, they were warned, don't go there again. And the fact that they were removed, you could say, is an assault. And the fact that their phone was taken off of them, maybe you could class that as theft. The point is that this happened to them. 2 of them. There were actually 2 of them. They were camping in Smilog Woods during the time that this had happened. And everything that we have already established, they are now confirming. And we're in the process of talking to them some more, and we'll update you as we go forward. But we now would have to class these 2. I think they will turn out to be primary witnesses. You know now, 100%, it's not an exercise. So from there now, we have to now find out what happened. And I hope that you will all help us in this endeavor. As always, make up your own mind. And for now, I'll say goodbye and keep helping us share this information. Thank you very much.